Go by the agenda for difference. Holy fire, bread. And faith for these. Down, down, the shape. See the break. Then. Then, five bread. Okay. Right. Keep standing for the religious prayer.
This is our civility pledge. We pledge to build a strong and more prosperous community by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of our town.
Roll call. Mr. Rackfield's not in. Approval of the November agenda.
So moved.
Properly moving session that we approved of November agenda. There is revision. Or. Any other. This way to agenda. Hearing none. All in favor, aye. Opposes, ayes have it. Item 6, approval of the previous meeting minutes, October 2nd, Finance Committee. Special call, meetings will be ready to meet.
So moved.
Second.
Probably moving second that you give approval to finance, regular call. Regular meeting and special company, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposes, ayes have it. Item 7, approval of previous financial statement for September 2025.
So moved. Second.
Probably moving second that we give approval to the financial statement for September 25. Are there any concerns? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposes. Financial statements approved. Item 8, Charleston County and special events, Mondo Fire Department, come forward, please. Followed by Charleston County Sheriff.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, and staff. Just to give y'all a quick recap update of what your fire department's done over the last 30 days. Within the period, we had 156 calls for service. 5 of those were fire related. Vast majority were medical and motor vehicle collision in nature, and a remainder were service calls and or fire alarms that occurred throughout the district. The department completed over 15 public education events due to the fact that it was Fire Safety Month. Within the last 30 days, 19 smoke alarm installs were done throughout, not only Allendale, but also McCallville. The fire department is finalizing a new fire truck purchase. We were able to do that through a trade-in process. So we should see a newer engine that will be coming to the south end. That's actually going to reallocate a better fire truck to come up here to Allendale. Obviously the same as what you have, but it's better capable, newer age, so it'll serve the citizens better until we get the 4 apparatus that are on order. Those are gonna take us approximately another 18 to 20 months to get it. And then we did receive final approval for the additional Narcan stations, one of which we'll be placing in the town of Allendale permanently, not as roving, so we'll be working with staff on that. Other than that, I don't have anything else unless you have any questions.
Any questions from council?
Yes.
When did you say the new fire truck was gonna be here?
The new fire truck that we're getting soon will be in within the next 2 weeks. It's actually arriving in South Carolina tomorrow. But it won't go into service for a while. That one's going to the south end of the district, so the one coming to Allendale is a reallocated fire truck.
And do you have, no, I'm not asking for anything specific, but what percentage of the 156 calls do you think were motor collisions?
For motor vehicle collision, I'd have to get those numbers back to you.
Just at like 50% or
Probably not 50%, probably about 15 to 20%.
20?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you.
So,
When you mentioned the south end of the district, is that the station in Mount Pleasant or the fire?
yes, sir, that's at the Isle of Palms connector. We've seen a major uptick in calls. We obviously carry the 41 corridor, Phillips Simmons community, 4 mile, 6 mile. So that engine will relocate to there, but the engine that's there, that's coming here is the one that's being relocated.
Which station in Allendale will that go to?
That's gonna go to the one right here off Maxville Road, right around.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. I want to point out real quick, I asked the night shift supervisor if any of his guys were not busy, and he gladly said no, so it's some of the deputies back there, if you guys will wave. Deputies who patrol the area, they're on permanent night, so unless you call after 6, you may or may not see them. So if the lights get too bright, you might see them swing. I'll just go with, I know somebody asked about accidents. We had a report of 17 collisions for the month. Not all of them will require fire, but that's how many we had. Another one, we just went to 11 disturbances. Patrol logs, which is always a big one, is 348. Suspicious activity calls were 12. And traffic incidents, which are mostly traffic stops, is 117. I think there was one reported shooting off of Seaweed Road. There's just gunshots heard in the area. So, and I guess they were found and they were just more or less target shooting, but they were pointing towards somebody's property, so we had to advise them not to. So that is all I have, unless anybody has anything else.
Any questions from council? Hearing none, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Municipal Farm Foundation Rule.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, thank you for the time. Per the ordinance, the park board is recommending to proceed with Entrance 1 construction. This was presented at the October meeting under attachment 1. Now that a month has passed and the council has had sufficient time to review, we're recommending the town of Allendale proceed with the improvements. With the hope that you will approve the project, our question is what happens next? Per the ordinance, the park board is to recommend. We don't have the authority to pay contractors, sign contracts, or execute other actions needed to complete the project. So our question is, who has the authority and can the park board have the authority to move forward with that project?
That's a question for council. Any input to the request?
I would support you moving forward with this project. It's getting dark earlier and we still are having trespassers. They're probably damaged. So we need to install some proper security.
Any other?
And I echo those sentiments, there's money in our budget for the park board right now,
Yeah, Stephanie, do you wanna speak on those
cover the
numbers?
cost.
Yes, it would be in the Parks Board maintenance allocations of that budget. Um. I don't have that exact number. I believe it was around $60,000 for park maintenance.
Yeah, there's
That's in there for the years.
miscellaneous expense was 36,000, municipal park improvements was 60, and park maintenance was 40.
So
Did you repeat that?
So miscellaneous expenses were 36,000. Municipal park improvements was 60 and park maintenance was 40. That's for the budget ending June 30th, 2026. So if that money is available, we're prepared to move forward with the quotes and getting some together. For the signs, for benches, for this gate construction and potentially walking trails.
And we're estimating this costing about 25,500.
Yes, sir.
And you had quotes,
Yes, we do have quotes.
okay.
Yeah.
Any other?
Well, I make a motion to, Matt, do we need to make a motion to approve this project moving forward?
I think you just, make a motion to adopt the recommendation by the municipal park board.
And then empower them to. Cause that's one of the questions she had,
That
is
is one.
how far. Are they allowed, they're allowed to go out and solicit, I mean, I know she has a couple of quotes, I assume you're able to move forward, are those quotes expired where you could go ahead and?
No, I think I've talked with them and Chris Adams talked with them, I think they're comfortable moving forward.
So can we?
Yeah, it depends on whether you want to just delegate it fully to the park board or whether you want to have them bring bids or contracts to the administrator and authorize the administrator to sign and execute things. It's up to y'all, but right now in the ordinance, they recommend to y'all and y'all decide how that gets carried out.
Well, I make a motion, if you've already got a quote, to please submit that to Catherine so she can, approve it, make sure. The money gets allocated for that and but get the project started as soon as possible.
So you only have one vote?
We have multiple quotes.
Well, I think we need to see it.
Yeah.
I think you need to know. Who y'all want
I
to
agree.
list the info, how you gonna do that?
Yeah,
You gotta go with the lowest zero. Whatever bid makes sense. And I think we need to look at you. At least see the bids.
I agree. We use local companies in the bids and I can send these to you, Catherine, if you would like to distribute them.
yes, I can.
Yeah,
And you need.
you'll have them tomorrow morning.
And with your recommendation based on your conversations of who you've talked to, like, do we
Yes.
recommend going with these folks?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
You need a second. You should say.
Second,
Okay. Probably moving second motion, we. Give the right to. Give her. The request of $25,000 for the park.
No, the motion is,
Without. You wanna make it?
no, I was just gonna, the motion is for her to submit the quotes to Catherine to distribute. So that we can make, so then we can, so we don't know what the.
Yeah,
amount is.
just give me time then.
Okay.
Please. Let's be, if we gonna be professional, let's be professional. So everybody can be clear on what she is saying. That's all I'm saying. So we can know
Mhm.
what we are doing, so it can go right in the minutes. Am I right?
You are
Thank you, sir. With that said. All in favor, say aye. Opposes. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Okay, we go to number 9. Project comments. Transportation sales tax. Special committee. We can take some forward.
Okay, do you have this, yeah, I just need to turn it. Okay. I did, are you? Okay.
that work? Pleasant.
I'll just tell you when we need to go to the next page. Good evening, everyone. I am Debbie DeToma. I'm with Charleston County Public Works. I'm the deputy director there. I've been there for about 18 years. I actually started out doing the transportation sales tax, gas tax projects, so, I know it very well. I also have here with me our consultant, Daniel Rock. He's, basically helping us, compile all the survey data that we are getting. And also helping us with, outreach to everyone, really get a lot of participation on these surveys. I also have here Bruce Simpson, he does our field ops operation. What I've done in case anyone has any maintenance questions, ditch cleaning questions, road grading questions, we can tackle those as well. So I'm here tonight to talk about the potentially going forth with keeping the 1 penny for the transportation sales tax. So as y'all know, we've had, for 20 years, we've had a transportation sales tax. We had one that was passed 2004, another one passed in 2016. Well, that first half penny expires. So council has asked us to come talk to all the municipalities, really get your input on, do y'all support keeping the penny to get more road improvement projects? So again, here we are, they formed a special committee and they want to be more transparent. We know there's been a lot of trust issues in the past. So they're trying to really, they're having us go out to every municipality, no matter how big, how small, any community meeting as from requested to really try to get see if y'all supported or if y'all didn't support it before they determine if we even move forward with it. So just so everyone's aware, we have been able to commit $4.56 billion towards infrastructure improvements so far. Now, how the first half penny was done and the second half penny were a little bit different. But there were 3 major categories what the transportation sales tax went to. Roughly about 13% went towards green belts, those are your parks. 62% went towards road projects, bike ped projects, and then the remaining 25% went towards public transit. So out of that $4.56 billion, only actually $1.2 billion was from extra outside funding sources. So we were able to leverage $3.4 billion that we collected to leverage an additional $1.2 billion from outside sources. So,
Ma'am, just hold on.
sure.
Okay, everybody can't talk at the same time, please give your attention to the surroundings, please, thank you.
All right, so half of the dollar comes from actual visitors or commuters outside of Charleston County. Those are your Dorchester County, Berkeley County commuters, as well as tourists. So what have we done to date? If we were to sum it up in one page for the infrastructure improvements, we've been able to approve 895 miles of resurfacing. Believe it or not, as many potholes as you see, our roads are actually 73% better than the rest of the state of South Carolina because of the sales tax. We've been able to construct 49 miles of bike ped paths. You know, we did contribute a lot of money to the Allendale Greenway, so that's a good example. Some of the road projects that are good examples, I guess, would be Butterfly Lane. We're about to bid out Thompson Hill once we can get the condemnations filed for that one. Allendale Landing Road is an example. So there have been a lot of rural roads on Allendale that we've been able to really help people. If they've been really narrow dirt roads, it might be hard for EMS trucks. So this money has been used for improving a lot of rural roads in Allendale. We've been able to improve 69 intersections in Charleston County. So our Greenbelt program, between the Francis Marion Forest and the Greenbelt program and all of, land conservation, which get money for Greenbelt. Nearly half of all of Charleston County is now protected. That is the second highest in the state, which is pretty amazing, seeing how big and large we are. As far as public transit goes, we've been able to purchase 125 new vehicles for public transit, construct and install 146 shelters and or benches. And also we have our LCRT project, which the COG is managing, and that should be become a reality in the next couple of years. With all of this money for public transit, we've had a 226% increase in service miles and 120% increase in passenger trips. So what has changed in the last 20 years? Our population has grown 33%. So these projects, could you imagine what it would look like if we didn't like Johnny Dogs now, with 33% people not moving here in the last 20 years? On top of that, there's actually an increase of vehicle registrations of 41.5%. So there are actually more people on the roads. And our population is expected to grow an additional 42,000 in the next decade. So that means more vehicles, more traffic, more accidents. So we definitely need to look at ways to help with the transportation around here. So where we are today, it says October, we're still having listening sections. We're coming out to all municipalities speaking. We're going to any HOA or stakeholder that is asking us to come to basically give this presentation and answer any questions y'all may have. Early next year, we'll be presenting, we're currently compiling all the data. We'll be presenting that to county council, and they'll take all the input from the municipalities, from the public, and that will help develop the beginning of the framework of what it could look like if there is support for it. So this is y'all's opportunity to talk and see if y'all are in support of this and what projects really matter to y'all, so we can go back and report that to them. So the way we kind of showed this to the council initially is, before I think I showed you, we had Greenbelt public transit roadways. We actually separated bike path out because we want them to kind of focus on what percentage should we put towards that category, because that has become a very popular ask. So we felt like it was important to have its own category. So what we're asking for you all is what matters most here, and what percentage would you put towards each of these categories to help the traffic? Do you think that protecting more green space so that there could be less development is the best way to go? Do you think building more bike paths is more important? Do you think public transit is more important, or roadways? And that could be your intersection improvements, your rural road safety, improving these dirt roads, and also improving your pavements, which is resurfacing. So we're just asking thoughts, percentages of how y'all would like to see all that broken down. All right, so here tonight we had a pretty large crowd, so we have a survey. We'll have a QR code on that slide that you can see, and we're asking for y'all to please give your input. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. So here is the QR code. I can get out of the way if I can choose for anyone to take a picture and scan. Is there a website too, or can they say?
Charleston Transportation.com.
Charleston Transportation.com. If y'all want to take the survey. .com. Okay, in case y'all want to take the survey, we'd like to hear where we have succeeded, what are the challenges that y'all have seen? What are the key investment categories that you would like to see if we were to move forward with this? So the ask of council here tonight is if y'all could as well talk about it, see if y'all support it. If y'all could provide county council with a list of what y'all would like to see on it, and have that list publicly vetted so that we do remain transparent to everyone.
What's the start date for Thompson Hill? You all was working on that for the past seven.
So it's, yes, so it's in legal, so it took, I think it was just about in the last year that we finally got to go ahead to condemn. Cause we were trying to get the property and unfortunately we do have to condemn. So our legal department is working on filing those condemnations.
Okay. Timeline,
I wish I could tell you. I have a meeting with them every quarter. They have a list, a list and I can move it up the priority list.
we would like to have that done because this project's been going on. It's
Right.
now 8 years,
Correct.
so.
Yeah, so we.
Timeline.
Right, so until last year, we had it in all, we did have it in the town's hands to get the land.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to do that, so we have to turn it over to our legal department and file condemnations.
Wheels of justice turn very slow.
No, tell the, because the financial full council that did that, our approval.
Yes, you did, and I can talk to my legal department and let them know that it's very important and see if I can push it forward any quicker for you.
And so you, and thank you very much.
Sure.
English?
I have a statement. If you look at the historic growth, you're gonna see a lower slope line than I believe arguably we're gonna see in the next 5 years. We have a lot of approved subdivisions in the pipeline. And barring any significant economic downturn, I think it's not unreasonable to expect that this area of Allendale is gonna double in population. So how do you consider historic growth, but also consider these projections? And these, like I said, these are approved subdivisions.
So our COG, which is the Council of Governments, has a big model and they have a model on where areas are gonna grow based on the zoning. And they are the ones that we base every projection and traffic study on. They hold the ultimate model.
Okay,
But they're able to give you those numbers based on the zoning. It's a prediction, of course, but it's all based on the zoning of the land.
okay.
I have a question.
Sure.
How, you had mentioned that you want us to review this, come up with some suggestions, have it reviewed, in a public setting for transparency, and then, transmit that to y'all
Correct,
consideration.
correct.
So what is the best way for us to go about doing that?
If y'all wanted to have a working session and then maybe, talk it through and then maybe in a council, say this is what we're proposing and then open up the public comments, that would be one way to do it. This is a tough ask because it's moving fast, so council would like to see it sometime in December if possible. And again, if we could refine that, but they need to know, is it supported, number one, before we put any more work on it, is it supported? What are the main focuses of all the municipalities? Is it green space? Is it public transit? Is it road improvements?
So that would be shop type format.
Sure.
We could
I
have-
think that would be great, sure.
Other thing, at the Seabrook meeting, Councilman Jenny Honeycutt showed up, but if you email your county council member too, to let them know personally what you support, what projects you'd like to see, et cetera, what they consider some.
Right.
And that would be something we do on our own, or do y'all help facilitate that?
We could, if you needed us to, we could be there. If you would like for us to be there, we could certainly help, but we don't want to influence any decisions, but we could assist in any way other than trying to sway you one way or the other.
The technical expertise to facilitate something like that, to get a work product.
Sure, we could make something like that work. Sure.
I had a question. On the city road, every time it rains, the water is covering the highway now. Because the ditches need to be cleaned out and we calling several times for somebody to come out and clean it out. And they don't do nothing, they come and dig like
20 foot on ditches and leave all the rest. And if this supposedly out to the Campo Man Road and there's a big tower right underneath the highway, run over to a marsh for your this water to your end. But we never get anything done on City Road.
Okay, so Seaweed Road is state road, if I'm not mistaken, so it is a state road, so we're county, so we do help all in all out, we do the county roads. I can put in a work request for the DOT, and that's probably who you did, but we cannot maintain DOT roads, unfortunately. The sales tax, that's one thing I will say, so it cannot be used, also, it cannot be used for maintenance, just so y'all are aware, it cannot be used for maintenance. The only reason we're able to do resurfacing is because maintenance is defined as 5 years or less, and resurfacing roads is done way after 5 years. So, there is definitely strict guidelines on what we can and cannot spend this money on.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council, thank you for having us back again. We've committed all along to come back to you for updates, and so we'd like to do that this evening. This is related to a co-development of what we call nature-based solutions to issues associated with flooding and runoff and loss of marsh, that type of thing. So some of the issues that presentation was just talking about, how do we use working with nature versus working against nature to solve some of those issues. So we were here in the spring and you posted up and let us have a workshop and folks came out, gave us feedback. And so what we're asking tonight, there are a number of folks that were here early before the meeting started. And so thank you for those that were here that are able to give us feedback. And what we're asking is that if you have thoughts or input on some of these questions of what you love about your community, what are some of the challenges, what are your priorities, where are you seeing issues associated with flooding or runoff in your yard, in the streets, loss of marsh, that kind of thing. We'd love to have your feedback. And so that's what we're here tonight, is just to kind of keep the process moving, to continue to ask for feedback. This particular sheet was done by people from Allendale. So that's why we want to just come back and check to see that we get it right. You kind of missed something, where are the gaps? And we'll continue this process. Over the next few months, we'll be coming back again and saying, okay, based on what we heard, here are some potential solutions for some of these issues. Our project area goes from the South Santee down to 10 Mile. So it's a pretty big project area. Some of these issues are systemic across the different communities and neighborhoods. Some are going to be very site specific. So we will come back, share what we heard, share some potential opportunities, and hope you continue to engage with us. So for those that already filled this out, thank you. If you'd like an opportunity to do so, Tika Robinson, who is with the FICO group, who is handling our community engagement, has additional sheets that she can pass out, and we'll collect those. It'll be done online as well. These particular sheets are kind of hard copy. Yes. So if you get one tonight, we will need it back tonight. So Takia, we'll be able to collect them if we're not here about it in the news. Anybody else can go get those things and get forward. What's next? Good. Thank you guys for allowing us to come back. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, now, Swan.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm here again Don't be a council member. You know. The flag, you pledge allegiance to the flag, and supposed to be liberty and justice for all. And you seem like out there where we live out on the city road, we don't get no justice out there. There's a guard move behind me, 2018, I was there since 1960. At night, he'd be pulling up the trees off my property with a bulldozer. He'd live up my oak tree. Up high, out of shape, and that tree was there from 1960 up to now. He bring a big ugly 18-wheeler truck with a long bed on it, park it in the easement. When I called the police about it, they said ain't nothing they could do. I speak to Miss Catherine, the town hall. She said ain't nothing she could do. Well, if y'all can't do anything, what y'all up here for? You have an attorney, and the same way I called attorney and get advice, y'all have an attorney here. And he could tell you any easement is illegal for anybody to abandon a vehicle in it. And worse at that time. That truck, it was there going on 4 weeks now. Now, one of my cousin had parked in the easement and then tore her car in. So why is justice for some people and there ain't none for the other? That flag, the Legion flag, y'all read every time you have a meeting. He said liberty and justice for all, not some people, for all people. And when people elect y'all and put y'all up here, that's what they want, is justice. You don't do for some and don't do for the other. Everybody pay tax the same, and we don't lose no gadget for keep from paying tax, we pay our full tax. And it's not right, we ain't getting justice from the town of Orono. It was better when we was in Charleston County. From the things happening now in the town of Orono, I'm sorry ever was a town of Orono. Cause you can't take a country and make a city out of it. And that's what y'all doing, jamming in all these houses, you hardly could get up the driveway. We need work done in our community, you can't get nothing done. When we have these heavy rain, we have trouble with moccasins, gator, and everything. These things would not been like this if we had people who care about the community and do justice for everybody. And even the officer them, they act like their hand is tied if you come to, I hate to say this because I'm not a prejudiced person. I raised up with white people. I was married to a white man, and I'm not prejudiced. But when you come to white and black, it seems like all the power goes to the white and the devil take the black, and that's not right. All is God's children. Each one to bleed red blood if they get cut. But what I see going on now, something going to have to be done about this, because this is enough. We're not going back where we come from. We ain't going back there. So y'all better get y'all act in order, because things will start happening. Thank you. Thank you very much. John, is so.
Good evening. My name is John Day, so I'm a gifted artist. I've been drawing and painting since 1960. October 3rd, I celebrated 65 years of painting and drawing. About 3.5 years ago, something drew me to this area. When I had met with Mayor Leland, and I told him, I said, I hope y'all know what's getting ready to come. He said, what do you mean? I said, all this is gonna go all the way to Georgetown. He said, sure about that? I said, I spoke it in Lexington, and it happened. I spoke it in the Northeast of Columbia, and it happened. I said, this area here is coming, and that's why I'm here. When I got here, me and my friend Alan Mitchell, I met someone here who had said he had been praying about doing something with art in this area. Well, I said, okay, that's why I'm here. And she started telling me more stuff, and I finally told her, I said, God heard your prayer. That's why I'm here. I never got to go to art school, but I'm here to, I see a festival being done here. I've always wanted to do something. I've been a lot of gallows stuff. I'll just show you what I did. This is what I did. I never been art school. I never got to go to school, but I now work with 20 universities nationwide. Wow. I have a foundation called the Gifted Artists Program, where I've helped over 40,000 kids in this country, over 12,000 in this state. Congressman Wilson, 2005, honored me on the House floor for what I was doing with the children in South Carolina. I was on a committee for Governor Hodges in the year 2000, it was to find out why children stopped paying anybody, and it was 6th grade. Well, the first meeting, I stood up and I said, here's why. I said, Tammy teacher told her work was better than Tommy, so Tommy gave up. I have met hundreds of thousands of people across this country who once used to paint. I just met a lady in the seaweed post. She said, I paint, but I don't paint that much. She said, you gonna come here, back open up something, we do art, but I want to do a festival this that we break the ice, and it's called Life in the Low Country. I can't show all of my art y'all tonight, but I got a lot of art that I've done in the last 29 years. 811 pieces to be precise. And I do murals. I did 159 murals since 1991 across the United States. But I was what would it take for me to bring the Life in the Low Country Festival? It's about education. I've already studied y'all history about the Seaweed Indians and all that stuff. So I want to come and use my gift and see what I can do to make this a better community.
Thanks, sir. You get the information, give it to Ms. Marcus.
Okay.
And she'll bring it back within that. Thank you. Also report. Any report from council?
I'd like to say something.
Go ahead.
Thanks. I wanted to say thank you and congratulations to a bunch of folks tonight, but mainly you, Mayor.
Me?
You. Thank you for your service to this town and the community.
Where's my apple?
I was gonna bring two, because I didn't get supper tonight. I pulled a tomato pie out of the oven and put it in the refrigerator, because it was got too late. I'll get you one next time. But anyways, the things that, not just for the town, but for the community, and the accomplishments you've made are too numerous to count. We'd be here all night. I know we don't want to do that.
No, you won't do that.
But anyways, thank you. And I also want to thank Councilman McNeil and also Councilman Catchings for their service to the town of Hall. I also want to say welcome to the new mayor-elect and the new council members-elect. And say, well done. I pledge to help you out in any way I can to keep this town moving forward. Thank you.
Well, sir. I praise the Lord. He answered my prayers. All of a sudden, Ken Cross came forward and thanked me, Jesus.
You deserve it, man.
Lord have mercy on you. Yeah. Thank you, sir, but you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for 43 years. I'm the only one standing from that. And you know what? I am so happy to be gone. Happy. Now, put on with my agenda. Okay. Mayor's report. I'll do my report, maybe swear in next one, okay? Okay. Administrative report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. An update on the HVAC project. The current halt right now that has passed through Charleston County. The contractor came back and instead of being at $61,000, it's now at $89,000. We are also having another quote on the electrical because that has also increased in price. We are getting some additional quotes on the electrical and hopefully we'll have that moving forward sooner rather than later. But with that massive increase in price, we will have to do a budget amendment. Go through that process. That's all I have on any questions on the HVAC part.
Is it, but the bulk of that came from American Rescue Plan funds, did that?
Yes, the $61,000 was, and $23,000 for the electrical was allocated out of the American Rescue Plan. We need to spend those funds by, December 31st, 2026.
I could also clarify the panel is deficient and doing the upgrade, right? If you could just maybe speak to that about what the increase is, not just off tariffs and price increases, it's.
We have a 200 amp panel outside for town hall. Currently, right now, you're operating with 300 amps coming out of that 200 amp meter. So we need to upgrade the meter and we also need to upgrade the panels as well. And then the security update at town hall, we've had a couple of instances where we've had to replace all of our locks at town hall. I will be speaking with Lieutenant Turner on a better security plan as well, to make sure that our staff are safe. But one of those proposals is going to be to upgrade our cameras at town hall. The current system right now, once I got the quote, they're not used on government buildings anymore. The type of cameras that we have. Our security company, Coastal Burglar Alarm, did a quote on all of our cameras and adding 2 others so that we can have full view of the hallway. Inside town hall, and that cost is $4,700 to replace all of the cameras. When we do the replacement, it would be, they would be the ones reporting it, they would be the ones maintaining the files. And whenever our alarm is triggered, they'd be able to immediately produce the camera footage to our sheriff's.
Any questions?
We're just waiting for that to come in, that we would need to vote to have that done, or?
Yes, I will provide that quote to the council and we can vote to have that done.
Activities.
I don't have any report from the cabinet.
Okay, okay.
Is there a party?
Let's go to. Item 14. Approval of second reading.
Approval of second reading of ordinance 2025-42, an ordinance of the town of Allendale, South Carolina. To amend Title 9 Land Usage, Chapter 153 Zoning Code, Wetlands and Waterways Setbacks Division of the Code of the Town of Allendale, South Carolina. By renaming the division thereof to Wetlands Protection and repealing the existing section 153.225 thereto and adding a new section 153.225 along with new sections 153.226 to 153.239 thereto, providing for the protection of tidal and freshwater wetlands in all affected sections to clarify, for clarity. Section 153.009 definitions to include proposed definitions. Section 153.025 through 153.032. Description of zoning districts to reference the wetland standards.
Okay, I know that some of you had some concerns about this one. So. Do we want to move forward on this or we want to more or less? Yes, move it to next month for the study. That's what y'all want to do. I know you had some concerns.
We did, but if,
You want to defer to next month?
you know,
You don't want to defer.
We wanna update the language or revert back?
I think based on talking to our legal counsel, he encouraged us to adopt that I do want to make a change to one word and add a sentence at the end. So I don't know if we need to make a motion to approve, then I'll make a motion to amend.
That's what you need to do. Somebody needs to make a motion to approve the original ordinance, and then you can make the motion to amend, or you could move for vote.
I know some people had some reservations.
You know, chief, you're talking about going back to the original.
Because of the red lines.
Right.
So yeah, so under state law, because it's a zoning ordinance, any changes that y'all make from what planning commission recommended have to go back to them. The two changes that you want to make with the words are words that planning commission already considered. And so those can be made without sending it back. So I think the thought was to adopt it tonight with your, the two words you wanted to add to it. And the sentence at the end, and then to the extent there are additional changes down the road, those can be amended by council at a later date. So that there's at least a wetlands ordinance in place, as opposed to not having that.
What are your thoughts?
I support that idea.
Is there a second?
Well, did you make a motion?
Well, sort of.
You said you support it. But there's a second, is there a second, you want a second?
I'll move to give final reading to the ordinance that was just read, the title.
Second.
Shortly moving the second, and give the title, final reading to the title, all in favor, say aye.
Oh, no, now we have a discussion and it can be amended.
So I wanted to make a motion, based on discussion.
You gonna make another, she gonna make another motion?
Yes.
This is just to
Amendment.
accept the amendment. So in the original, they moved some language that was under section 153.227, and they moved it into the whereas, which our attorney has indicated that's appropriate for organizational purposes. However, they changed the word from saltwater to tidal. And I think it's more appropriate to keep saltwater because tidal has more to do with, as Mr. Brubaker said, the moon and the tides coming in and out instead of the constitution of the water. So under the third, or no, I'm sorry, the third whereas, but the first part where it says, where it's red, whereas the town of Allendale is surrounded by a vast network of tidal and freshwater wetlands, I think it should be changed back to a vast network of saltwater and freshwater wetlands.
So this going back before the planning commission.
Yeah, the planning commission already saw that language and it was just taken out, so y'all can add it back in if you want to, without it going, that issue going back.
And then also based on legal counsel, because we're adopting original language and some of the new language to add a sentence at the end of the ordinance that to the extent that the provision of this ordinance conflicts with any other ordinances, this ordinance controls. And so that's my amendment to the original motion.
Second.
Probably move with second that. Well, amendments to. Approve. All in favor? Say
Aye.
I'm voting no.
Yeah,
So ayes have,
now we need to vote on the main motion.
yes, and that's to. keep it, take it back to where it was.
Well,
Is that-
to
is that right?
to adopt it as amended. All it takes is a vote. There's a motion on the floor to do that. It was amended to change it, that was approved. Now the main motion is
Two,
action.
and you making that motion.
It's already there, all we have to do is vote on it.
Yes. Councilman Frost made that motion and Councilman Helms seconded it.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. That's it. All right. Item 15.
Approval of second reading of ordinance 2025-43 and ordinance amending the adopted 2024 comprehensive plan to incorporate proposed language from the South Carolina Environmental Law Project.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Probably move and second that we approve, you get a second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
I think we. Ayes have it, thank you. Item 16.
Approval of second reading of ordinance 2025-44 and ordinance amending the business license ordinance of the town of Allendale to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020.
Motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Any concerns, questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And we're aye. 17, approval of first reading of ordinance.
2025-45, an ordinance for a text amendment to an existing plan development, Allendale storage as identified by TMS 66100000029. Amendment to include clarifications to dimensional standards, buffer requirements, and development review procedures.
Motion for approval, first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Probably moving second that we give first reading to ordinance 2025-45. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposers? Ayes have it. 18, resolution 2025-05.
A resolution authorizing the participation of the town of Allendale in the South Carolina Deferred Compensation Program.
Did you give us a brief explanation on that?
Yes, so back in January, the town became a PIBA, which is the Public Employee Benefit Authority for not only insurance, but also through retirement, so the South Carolina retirement system. As one of the benefits for the South Carolina retirement system, there is an additional deferred compensation program. That is your 401k and your 457B plans. These are completely optional for the employee to make additional retirement contributions at no cost to the town. But in order to become a deferred member of the compensation program, it has to be adopted by a separate resolution of council. It wasn't incorporated in the original motion back in January for that resolution.
And so this is available, if we approve it, it's available to all town employees.
Yes.
And it's a retirement plan separate from the other state retirement plan, which is a mandatory contribution. They just contribute voluntarily, but it accrues tax deferred. And it's a good thing because I'm using it right now in my retirement. So I just wanted the public to know that is another benefit that the town is extending to all employees.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Clarity has been given. Motion for approval.
Motion to
I
approve.
make a motion.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Move to approve the
Resolution,
resolution.
Second.
probably moving second that we approve the resolution. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Ayes have it. Thank you all for coming. God safely going home and don't eat too much turkey. Thank you, have a nice Thanksgiving. Thank you.